climbing up this steps along that path, these steps, and then up here. I think that was just the longest walk I've ever done in my entire life. It said 52 minutes, but apparently it turned out to be like 2 hours. We're now in Twice Brewed. We've been more or less walking for the last 10, 11 hours. I'm finished. I'm cooked, fried, boiled. Hey, just before you start watching this vlog of my trip along Hadrian's Wall, I just want to say that at the end of this video, I've added a 10-minute segment just giving advice and tips on how you can plan for your Hadrian Wall walk. So yeah, so please stick around and watch the vlog and I hope you enjoy it. But if you're stuck for time, you can just skip ahead to roughly 50 minutes in. It's towards the end of the video, where I give you some tips and tricks on Hadrian's Wall and things I learned on my experience on walking Hadrian's Wall. So I hope you enjoy this video and you enjoy your walk, if that's what you're planning, or if you're just curious and you feel like watching a video on Hadrian's Wall. So without further ado, enjoy the video. So we're finally on our way to Hadrian's Wall. We had to wait until the last minute to organise the trip because of the coronavirus. We weren't sure if there was going to be lockdowns, or we basically waited until the very last second and then we planned it all yesterday. It was a bit stressful. I wouldn't recommend it. Maybe a few days before would be better because we still haven't finished planning really. But we're going to walk Hadrian's Wall, and Hadrian's Wall is 86 miles in case you don't know that. So we're going to stay in B&Bs and hotels as we go. It's about a 5-hour drive to Carlisle, which is where we're going to stay. We're going to stay for the first few days there. So let's get going. So we're in Carlisle now. We just walked around a bit and now we have Subway. So that night we stayed in Carlisle, and then in the morning we got the bus to Bowness and then walked back to Carlisle and stayed there again. So we're going to get the bus to Bowness on Solway. It's at 6:35. So we're the only ones on the bus, and the bus leaves quite quickly. They really stick to their schedule. So you have to get to the bus stop on time, or even a bit earlier, just to be sure. You don't want to miss the bus. We should be on the bus for 1 hour, I think. About 1 hour, roughly. Anyway. And then the cubes. So we're here now at the beginning of the path and we're going to start walking. It's 84 miles. We're going to go to Newcastle. We're hoping to go coast to coast, and we bought this book. This is a fantastic book actually. Really, really great, because it tells you all where to stay, where to eat. And the guy who wrote the book, he's drawn maps for you, small sections, so you can just follow it. You can gauge how it will look. There's a broken gate. Yeah, if you're going to do this, I think you should get this book. Fantastic.
There's people walking there. It's low tide. They say this becomes high tide at some point, but we're lucky.
So whenever we go on a walk in the countryside, Alex is always in the same spot, always here, and he gets a red bump. We don't know what it is, but today it's extra big. Why does that appear?
I put a cross on it.
Jesus will save you. So we're close to halfway now, and I'm telling you, if you get this book, it's really, really easy. Let me show you. It's you can't get lost. Even though the path itself is quite easy because it's signposted everywhere. There's signposts, all over the place. It's quite hard to actually get lost. But we've had some food. We had a trail mix and some fruit. Okay, bye. they're babies, that's why they're curious. Hello, baby. Hey. Hello. Hey. Oh, those cows are so beautiful. I think they were quite young cows. And one of them was like really looking, I don't know. It was really, really sweet. Cows are very soft animals, you know. And like I went to stroke its nose because it was like putting its nose forward, and he went like that, you know, nervous. When I held my hand out without moving it, then it was more confident. Anyway, walking. Yeah. Smell my wind. So we were walking happily, and then we got to a sign, and I realised I couldn't read the sign, so I thought, oh, let me just get my glasses out. And then I realised I'd lost my glasses, so we had to turn around, walk quite far back, and then thank God I found them just laying on the floor. They must have fallen out of my pocket. So yeah, so we did a little bit extra walking. But this is the first incline, really. I mean, there's little hills, but this is the first kind of climb. Quite overgrown. Maybe this isn't like a popular section of the walk. Hey, so yesterday we were really, really tired when we got back, and I was gonna film the remaining, you know, the walk through Carlisle and back to the hotel. But both of our feet were killing, oh my goodness, my feet were killing me. Well, I don't know if you've seen my previous video, but I sprained my ankle. So yeah, we came back and we bought Subway and we sat in the room. We sprayed our feet in the shower with cold water, which felt really great. So yeah, I was too tired to film anything last night. But today we decided we're not going to walk again. The way we've arranged it is to have a break day. The reason why I'm having a break so early on in the walk is because I wasn't sure how my, you know, ankle would be. I wanted to just do the first stretch and then have a break and then see, you know, how I was going to be. That's another reason why we haven't booked all of our hotels yet and B&Bs and stuff. Yeah, today my feet feel pretty good. Today we're going to go to Carlisle Castle and we're going to explore a little bit, and then later we're going to pack our bag and we're going to go fully without the car and just one backpack. I've got a 30-litre backpack which I'm going to take with me, and that's my backpack for the next 8 days, I think it is, and I'm really, really excited. Please. We just went to the castle. We paid £11 each, and we feel like it wasn't really worth it because it's really small and there wasn't much to see. This one is literally just bricks and mortar. I'm glad we went. Now we know. We were going to go to Tully House, but we left it a bit late because of COVID. They've got temporary opening times, and we don't want to rush, so we're going to go somewhere else instead now. So yesterday we just spent the day in Carlisle, and then the evening sorting out our stuff, and I've packed my bag. Well, we also bought a cover for our backpacks just in case it rains, because apparently it's going to rain all week. So we've already done the walk from Bowness to Carlisle. Today we're going to walk from Carlisle to Wharton, and we're going to stay in the Old Vicarage B&B and brewery. The lady there offers food for £10 a night. So if you get there and there's nothing to eat, you have to let the lady know in advance that you're going to eat, and then you can have an evening meal, and she cooks it for you. She said she can prepare us a vegan meal, but we've decided not to do that. We've got an extra tin of beans if all goes well. So I'll see you later.
This is Eden Bridge.
we left a little bit late. We're gonna end up getting there around 8 p.m, which is great timing because the sun sets at 7, of course. Nevertheless, we shall complete our walk. So this is a stretch of the walk. They say it's mostly tarmac, but the book that we have takes us through some countrysides and fields. I'm enjoying it so far anyway. That way, Cubby. This is such a beautiful little neighbourhood. Very beautiful. Each house has a name. It's nice to explore the country, you know, you live in. I feel like most people, you know, they don't explore their own country. That's what I really want to do. Explore everywhere in England or in the UK. Everywhere along this walk, there's these signposts. So if you can walk from east to west or west to east, so we'll say it twice. So it's very hard to get lost, but still, it's worth having. That's Alex. It's worth having the book. So yeah, I'm gonna show you Alex because apparently he wants to wave. There he is. Look how happy he is. Bye. So we're gonna go now. I just think it's a very beautiful walk. So far, I'm having a wonderful time. I always feel like a different person when I leave London. Obviously it's obvious, but London is full of people. There's this like overwhelming feeling when you're around people all the time. You never get that sense of like freedom.
Oh, again, now.
So yeah, I can't wait to move out of London, you know.
Oh look, it's tarmac there.
Damn it, there's people everywhere. I think we've done about 6 miles now, and we haven't really had a break. We had a 5-minute break, which we timed. Just a bit silly really. We should have sat down for maybe 20 minutes to half an hour. Now my ankle is killing me. Yeah, there's an uneven surface. So basically now, as soon as we see a bench, we're gonna have like a good half an hour break.
Plus, we bought this backpack cover. It's really good. But our tip is to buy the 50 liters one because it's 25 to 35 liters, but it's really tiny.
Yeah, it's really tiny, and it was also tiny on my bag as well. I didn't really fit. My bag is 30 litre.
And then I bought the 50 liters. It's perfect.
So just buy bigger than you need, than you think you need.
We haven't seen people walking our way. It's always the other way.
Old Wall, 1.5 miles. Here we come. My leg is killing me. Got about 6 more miles to go. Here we see an Alexander, otherwise known as Cobwebs. This Cobwebs has abandoned his companion due to impatience. Maybe this cubby has decided to make it out on his own. A very independent cubby indeed.
What?
This is what happens when you only have a few hours sleep.
Ooh, hurt you a bit. Bench to sit on. For some reason, when you sit down, rest your feet and legs, and then when you get up again, it hurts. I think we have about 2 miles to go. I'm like hobbling a bit. Got a pain in the back of my calf. I'm hoping it's not a problem, you know, blood clot. They said when I sprained my ankle, I have to be careful of blood clots because fluid build up, and I don't really know. I'm gonna Google my symptoms later. Anyway, it's cold. Not long to go now. It's a cow pony. We're near the old vicarage.
We're in Autumn now. What time do we leave? I can't remember.
8:38.
And we're here now. I think it's about 5. We took it really, really slow.
And then our B&B is here, just at the end of this road. It's a nice room. It's got a good view. I think we're paying 75 overnight. It comes with breakfast tomorrow, and then he asked us what time we want to have breakfast. We just said 7, around 7.
I'm scared of spiders. Like most people kind of are. Notice this room has a big spider in it. If it runs around, I guess Alex can get it because he's not afraid at all. This is the spider. Dun, dun, dun. You happy with your night's accommodation?
Yeah, but Kabi was scared of small bugs, so I had to save her life by taking it away
outside.
So, run away now. Location is called Once Brewed, but the way we're going to stay is called Twice Brewed. When we arrived last night at the B&B, the guy said, we've done the easy part, you know, Carlisle to here. And now it's a bit more tricky today. The only thing I'm a bit worried about is my ankle and calf muscle. But I've taken Nurofen. So yeah, so we're going to keep going now. This stretch of the walk is definitely more hilly. This is the incline. I think if you walk and just take little breaks every now and again, it's okay. Hills are okay, you know. You just have to do it, you know, within your means. And yeah, you do it. Look at the view behind me. It's so beautiful. It's about 9:30. I think it's gonna rain. First bit of the wall that we've seen so far on the third day. It's a wall fragment. It's signposted as well, so I'm going to show you what it probably looked like. So it would have looked like this, kind of like the Great Wall of China. Hare Hill, a precious fragment of a mighty wall. Another section of wall. Ta-da! This is a turret, basically a watchtower. This section of the wall. And turrets were spaced about every Roman mile, and apparently it would have looked something like this. This is the watchtower. Maybe there would have been stairs there or something. Maybe. And this is the land they were watching, so if you came towards the watchtower they'd see you. Look, turret.
Oh, sun.
It's a sight.
Look, Candidius. Candida.
I just spoke to a lady who said that she stayed down the road from Twice Brewed Inn, and she said we've got quite a way to go. And the section we've been doing so far is apparently easy. And she said there's quite like very uneven surfaces and rocky. It's quite rocky. We've got that to look forward to. But in the meantime, look at this landscape.
Here is a specimen of a clubby with stubby legs. Okay, Gabi. Yawning.
It's 5 o'clock and we still have 2 maps left to go in our book, which is quite a while, and it gets dark at 7. I just saw this castle and now I have to rush. Oh, I think I've got a blister. Okay, cool. I'm going to put something on it now. Hopefully we get there before dark to Twice Brewed Inn. Wasn't that clear because most of the signposts they say
Hadrian's Wall.
Yeah, Hadrian's Wall path, and then suddenly it changed to like national rail path. We got to a sign, it was like national rail path, so we didn't know which way to go. And then we were trying to follow the map, and that was confusing. So we took one way, and then a lovely lady helped us and told us if you go along this way, this will lead us to our accommodation. And I think it should be just in time. Literally, the sun sets at 7, and that's the time we should get to our accommodation. So we could have gone like up a hill and followed the actual wall, but that would have been, the ground would have been undulating, so we came this way. But the only thing is, lots of cows through this field with like their babies, and the babies are suckling
they stop, you know, and they do this. And then it makes you feel like they're going to charge at you or something, you know, and they're with their babies, so you feel like they're protective. It makes your heart pound nonetheless, you know. Anyway, we've got 1 hour to go now, so...
This is an unofficial random walk, just using Google Maps.
We're through beautiful countryside.
Yeah, maybe tomorrow we can go back to where we failed to follow the path.
I think that was just the longest walk I've ever done in my entire life. It said 52 minutes, but apparently it turned out to be like 2 hours. I think we still have 20 minutes to go. We're now in Twice Brewed. We've been more or less walking for the last 10, 11 hours.
Let's go.
I'm done, I'm finished.
Not long.
I'm cooked, fried, boiled.
We've arrived. That was the longest walk I've ever done in my life. The big fat van just drove past us as we arrived and put his massive lights on. What a bastard.
Here's our room.
Yoink.
This is the toilet.
Very interesting. I'm sure you were desperate to the toilet, weren't you?
This is the room. It's messy because of our stuff. We just had some dinner. Vegan burger. We're full up now.
We're at the Vindolanda, which is full of houses and workshops for the Romans. It's quite interesting. There's quite a lot to see here. Quite a lot of ruins.
What is it here?
Roman cement.
Ready?
No!
We're at Hosteds now. It's a Roman fort, so we've got 1 hour before it closes. We thought we could just pay here. We have to book online now because of COVID. It's really annoying. Yeah, in Vindolanda they said that you could just turn up.
This is the Roman pooping area.
There's like the sewer.
So maybe they dip their washing thing there still.
So this is Hadrian's Wall, and this map gives you a perspective of the distance. And so we're at Hosteds now, and this is how far we have to walk. And it doesn't feel very far. We've actually gone quite a long way.
Centurion. Shalabalala.
Because yesterday we got lost, we ended up walking 17 miles. We decided, well, try not to walk as much as possible today and actually rest. But we still wanted to see the sights. So the Hosteds and the Vindolanda are both like forts. Well, the Vindolanda is a village, and the Hosteds is a fort for the Roman soldiers. They both housed Roman soldiers. So yeah, so we got the bus, and there's a bus that goes from outside Twice Brewed in. The bus comes every hour. They're kind of roughly between 20 past and half past. The receptionist downstairs gave us a bus timetable, and it was really easy, to make sure we caught the bus on time. Other than that, you can just Google it, use Google Maps and go to transport, and then it will tell you the time. It's actually 4 minutes or 6 minutes down the road, both of them. You can walk them. I think that from here to Hosteds is 2.5 miles, which is like a 1 hour walk. So the Vindolanda was a village, and it's very big. And the museum is quite interesting. There's loads of things that they found, you know, leather shoes and jewellery and, you know, really interesting things. So yeah, I actually feel like they're both worth their money. The bus was worth the money as well because we got a rest day. It was like $2.50 or $40 per trip, and we did 3 trips. But yeah, so that's our trip so far. Hope you're enjoying this video. If you are getting value from this video, please like this video and subscribe. So we just left Twice Brewed Inn, and now we're on our way to the next bit of the walk. We're walking to Cholerford today. It's 13 miles. The lady said this is the best part of the walk. It's a bit hilly to begin with. Later it will become more flat and easier. Anyway, so now we've got 30 miles. It's 9 o'clock. Let's see what time we arrive. Hopefully not too late. Hey, there's a cow. Little cow, fluffy. We're walking up here. Can you see that behind me? I hope so. It looks a bit dangerous. No, to me that looks dangerous. Looks a bit treacherous if you ask me. That's the wall down there. We're climbing up this steps along that path. These steps. And then up here. And there's Alex. So after Once Brewed Inn, most of the walk will look like this. And it's so beautiful and worth taking your time. And, you know, you walk along the wall here a lot. So this is an unexcavated part of the wall. This is the wall. And then you get to here, and then bam, beautiful view. Look at that, amazing. That's where we came from. I think that's Twice Brewed Inn. Just there. I looked up the hill. We came all the way along here. This is Mile Castle. We're in Cholerford now. My feet hurt like hell, but we're nearly at the George Hotel. I think we turn right, and that leads to where we're going to stay, which is the Hadrian Hotel. We booked to stay at the Hadrian Hotel, and it's right behind us. But if you do go to the Hadrian Hotel, Google Maps stops way before you get there. So you just have to keep walking down the hill, otherwise you're going to get lost. So anyone that follows the channel will know that I sprained my ankle a few months ago. And my biggest problem on this walk has been my ankle. And this is the end of the day, and this is how swollen it was. If you're interested in watching that video about my ankle, I'm going to link it above. Morning. So last night we stayed near Cholerford, a place called Wall. That's basically Cholerford. I was really knackered when we got there, which was around 7:30. The kitchen closed at 8 o'clock, so we didn't have time to do anything other than go down and eat. And then after dinner, I was so tired. Just got into bed. Yeah, so we stayed there. And now today, it's around 9:30ish. We're going to walk to, I forgot the name of the place, New something? Well, we're walking to the Robin Hood Inn, but I forgot the place. It's about 9 miles, but I think it will end up being longer because yesterday we did, I think it was 16 miles, and in the book it says 13 miles. It always seems to be longer than it says in the book. I'm hoping we get there around 4 or 5 because then we'd have time to relax in the evening. Yeah, let's see. Hope today's nice. Run away. How lovely is that? There's a sheepdog doing his job. This is something to remember, which I haven't mentioned in the video yet, but this is the sign that you follow, and it will normally have Hadrian's Wall path signs as well. Styles. Such amazing views, so beautiful. And we're gonna head this way. And we're heading this way. So when we got to this field, we decided to cross the ditch because the cows were with their babies, and we decided to be on the safe side. So the road is just to my left, and we're just walking along that through fields, and that's it. But still, it's nice because we're surrounded by countryside, you know, and the air is still fresh, and we're far enough away from the road. We're far enough away from the road to not, you know, smell the fumes and things. And we saw a little bit of Roman wall earlier. Basically, they decided to change the width of the wall because it was taking too long. So they narrowed it, I think after 20 miles or something, you know, to complete it quicker. Maybe we'll see a bit more wall later. Who knows?
After the long walk, but no, because we forgot the way to try Brewed in.
Look at this
We
handsome
have to
fellow,
go back.
my walking partner.
What?
This handsome fellow. Oh yes, so handsome, wasn't it? Woo!
Happy those two.
Look at this signpost. We have walked 59 miles and we have 25 to go. Segadunum is where the trail ends. There it is. I was just crossing a stile. And there were what looked like spiders. I don't know, they had like little webs and it looked like webs, you know. So I put my hand on it and then I noticed there was something on my hand. And I think I just squished it quickly. I don't know, I didn't even realise. And then it was like blood. I don't know, I'm not sure if it bit me or not. But I'm worried now, you know, because it was a tick. And ticks carry Lyme disease. So if you do this walk, you have to be careful if you're walking through sheep fields. Don't roll around in the grass or anything, especially if you have children. Because I remember when we were kids, I think we did that. And my mum stopped us. So yeah, you have to be careful. Oh, this is where my gosh, what happened? Yeah, there was 2 cars, right? So earlier we were walking, we saw some blood in the road, basically where the signs are for Hadrian's Wall. You know, the wooden posts. So it will say Hadrian's Wall across the road and then the same thing for the other side. And so you have to, yeah, keep crossing the road. And basically between the crossing, there was blood in the road. Yeah, just be careful. This bird. I think it must have electrocuted itself. Hey, follow me to the gate. So we're staying in the Robin Hood Inn, which is on the path, literally on the path. The decor is like old-fashioned, which I really like. I don't know. I'm gonna show you it. Here's Alex making himself at home. This is the window, like a little seat, and they have this like big chest at the end of the bed, and the bed. Oh, the ceiling has that, you know, those squares pattern, like dark wood furniture. Some people don't like this. I don't know, I really like the old-fashioned. And this is just the bathroom, normal bathroom. It's like a pub, so downstairs is a pub and you can get pub food and drink beer and things and then come to your room to sleep. And I like it. That's it. So one thing I want to say about my walk, since I sprained my ankle, I definitely needed some kind of ankle support. And I don't think I would have been able to complete this walk without ankle supports. But thanks to Alex, he gave me these ankle supports that he uses for skating. And they're so good. So this is them. There's like 3 ways to do them up. This supports the actual ankle. And then they've got like Velcro either side. And it goes around and under the foot like this. Oops. Like that. And then this one goes around here. And then it has like a lace that you do up to like keep the support in place. These have been fantastic. I mean, I'm not sure I've been able to finish the walk without them, to be honest with you. So if you're thinking about doing the walk and you have weak ankles or an ankle injury, then I'd consider buying a good ankle support. Yeah, even though I did have pain, I just wouldn't have been able to walk without these supports. What?
For your shoes, the support.
Tell us about them.
I'm not really good at speaking English. I'll pass it on to you.
So basically, Alex bought these expensive inner soles. They're like £28. I think that's quite expensive. So I just bought Mountain Warehouse boots. And with Mountain Warehouse boots, you can feel like all the pebbles and stuff as you walk. Yeah, then they're not very comfortable. But Alex bought, I want to show you them as well, actually. These inner soles. And they're like a foamy, like a hard foam. Yeah, these as well. You have to buy good inner soles if you ask me. Morning! So today, what we're going to do is we're going to walk as far as we can to Newcastle. And then, hopefully, we're going to be within region of getting a bus when we get tired. Because we know we're not going to make it by 7 o'clock, which is when it gets dark. And we don't want to be walking till like 10 p.m. or something, you know. So what we're going to do is going to walk. And then when it gets When we start to get really tired, maybe 7 o'clock, maybe at 7 o'clock, we're gonna get on a bus. And then the next morning, once we've stayed in our hotel, the next morning we're gonna finish the walk. And then hopefully also we're gonna get the bus to Once Brewed and finish that section of the walk where we missed, where we got a little bit lost. Because apparently there's a great section of wall there which we want to see.
We stayed here in Robin Hood Bar Inn.
Yeah, this is where we stayed, the Robin Hood Inn, which is nice. It's like old-fashioned and really cool, and we liked it a lot.
And then there's a scary bit. There's someone apparently died here.
There's a memorial here, which I didn't see it, but because a walker died on this road. Which, if you can see the cars passing by, you can tell why, because they're so fast. I'm sure they wouldn't even have time to stop if someone was, you know, in the road or something. So, yeah, anyway, we're on our way now. And, yeah, I'll talk to you later. So just now we left Robin Hood Inn, and we thought the path was along the road. But it seemed really unsafe, like there's no path there. You're supposed to follow a path through these fields, like this path here. I guess we didn't look for the entrance. Maybe it's along the side, but we went along the side of the road, which is dangerous. So there is a path just, that isn't in the road. You have to just look for it. So right now we're walking in a Roman ditch, and during the springtime there's lots of wildflowers. The sun's shining and it makes everything like glisten. It's beautiful. It's like every time of year has its own beauty, you know. That's what's nice about nature. Like in early November or something, or October even, like when you start to get frost in the morning. I think that's why nature's healing, you know, because there's something always beautiful about it, like always beautiful. And it's fresh, you get more oxygen. So this part of the walk, you basically just follow the road, but look at this view. And this is the path through a field. This field had some cows in it, but the cows didn't have babies, so I feel more safe. There was a cow, right? And the cow went and like steam and stuff came out of its nose, and it was like staring at us and stuff. Yeah, it was quite a scary experience actually. Yeah. We find our way. Woohoo! Stay still, Cubby, and it will come over. So we just had a break here. We found a little park in Hadrian on the Wall. And we had trail mix and our tea, and we fed the birds, and it was nice. I think we've got about 7 miles to go, 7.5 miles to go. 7.5 miles when you're walking through fields is not 7.5 miles when you're walking on a straight road. Hopefully we can make it today actually without having to get the bus. Now which way do we go? So this is how wide the wall was supposed to be, and then they made it narrower. This is like the broad section of the wall, and they made it narrower to save time because it was apparently taking too long. And this circle is a kiln, apparently. I think I've got a spider on me. Nobody knows more about building a wall than Hadrian. This is what they think the wall would have looked like here. So I just want to say that the people in Hadrian on the Wall are very, very friendly. We literally had 3 separate people come up to us and ask us if we're okay, if we know where we're going, do we need any help. And it was so nice, you know. There's still fields around us. We've got about 8 or 9 miles to go. My feet are killing me. But we've still got like 6 hours until 7 o'clock. Let's see how far we can go. You see the lines in the path. This used to be an old railway, William Magan Way.
Let's go here. It's the same. Let's go around.
Yeah. There goes the Wylam. Look. Wylam. Look. Can you see? I just took ibuprofen because my foot was hurting. And now it's kicking in. I'm still only able to walk slow. But it's 5 miles to Newcastle, so it's okay. So we're just going to take it slow. We're going to get there eventually.
Have my face become smaller?
Have your face.
Or is I'm a chipmunk now?
Chipmunk.
Hubby!
Chippy
What
chippy
happened?
chipmunk. Chippy chippy chipmunk.
I
Chippy
told
chippy
you
chippy
don't
chipmunk. I think that's Newcastle. Yay!
I don't think that's Newcastle yet.
What is it then?
It's like Ben Scotswood.
We're in Leamington now, which I thought we'd arrive at by 7 o'clock, and it's only like 3:30. We're doing well. So the little stretch of land that we just passed is a bit like through trees and stuff. It starts off nice, and then it becomes a bit like graffiti and like not the most inspiring section. And apparently some hikers have had troubles there with yobs and stuff, saying insults to them. Nothing like that happened to us, so we're okay. So I just wanted to show you how swollen my ankle was from walking. And at this point in the walk, I had to sit down and rest. And can you see how big that is? That is so swollen. It's like half a golf ball, you know. Anyway, yeah, so I had to sit down and just rest it. Ooh.
Oh, you have to put this.
There's no bar!
Is it?
There's no bar!
Oh my God.
Oh my god, this is we wish we had a bath because it really helps our ankles and legs from walking. We have to make do with a shower,
Rubbish.
but we're here in Newcastle, so yay! I'm gonna relax. See you. Said that most walkers start the end of the trail and they end in Bonus. And to be honest with you, I can understand why. It's really uninspiring to walk through an industrial estate. But we're nearly done, so. The forest-side walk is quite nice. You get to see the river time. Yeah, it's nice, but when you end up in Bonus, which is way more picturesque, you get to see the sea and you're walking through more countryside, flowers and things. Yeah, it's much more pretty. It's a much more inspiring end to your walk. Are you ready for your projectiles?
Not gonna be.
Isn't it nice of me?
Yeah, okay then.
Okay.
Don't hit it hard, okay?
It's gonna be hard.
I'm not hitting my head. Ow! Don't do it! Ow! Ow! I can hear it! Ow!
I gotta forgot I was filming. To be honest with you, this little riverside walk is quite nice because it's along the river and it's surrounded by trees and greenery. Yeah, maybe this bit's quite nice. Oh, giant coil. So massive.
Whoa, there's another one.
Yeah, look how big it is. Smells like dogs actually. It smells like dogs. Woo! Why does it smell so bad? There's a little park here, which is closed, annoyingly. But this is the actual wall remains. The wall that you can see there is a reconstruction of how it would have looked. That's how tall it would have been. And this is the remains of the actual wall. It's interesting, isn't it? It's a shame we can't go in and like look at it. Aw. We made it to the end.
This is the official end or start of the trail. This sculpture.
And we're here now.
Septus Tectonicus. And in front of it, there's a piece of wood.
Apparently this is a made-up Roman guy. They just made it the official ending point of the walk. And this is where most people start the walk, from this point.
They go there.
Yeah, and then you turn left basically from this statue. And then you do your walk. Whee!
1 week.
Today was only like 4 or 5 miles because we stayed in Robin Hood Inn and then we walked here. My feet were knackered, but yeah, we did it anyway. I'm proud of myself, to be honest with you. It's just a dream. Now it's done. Look, a sad cubby because you can't go to the museum and see all your old stuff. Why are you so shy?
We're gonna eat now.
Hey, I hope you enjoyed that vlog and inspired you to go travelling along Hadrian's wall and walk the wall. And now I'm going to give you my advice on how to plan and things to consider before you walk the wall. So the first thing I want to say is we didn't actually plan our trip. We were thinking about doing it like all summer, but we didn't plan it or book anything because we were scared of COVID and if there was going to be lockdowns and then we would lose our money, and we already had that experience in March because we planned to go to Italy, but then obviously that was when the massive lockdown happened. So yeah, so this is what we did. To start with, as you know already, I sprained my ankle in July. I still really wanted to do it, but I knew my ankle was, it was bad and really hurt it. But by September I thought, we can do it. So we literally spent a few days planning and then we're off. So the first thing to consider is that the wall is 82 miles. Some people add 5 miles more to walk coast to coast, and it takes them an average of 7 days to walk it. I think that's roughly 12 miles a day. That's kind of what we did, although we did have a couple of rest days. To be honest with you, I could have taken a bit longer because my ankle was really hurting, but there's something nice about pushing yourself and walking further than you think you can. So that's the first thing to consider when you're thinking of walking the wall, is how far you want to walk each day, and then kind of plan accordingly. And it sounds simple enough, but there's things you need to consider as you go along. For example, you need to consider how hilly the environment is that you're going to walk in. In general, the beginning and end parts of the walk are more flat. Some of it's on roads and it'll be easier and quicker, but the middle parts, which is where it gets hilly and there's crags and things, that will take longer, obviously, because you're walking up and down hills and things.
and so you'll just walk a bit slower. So walking 10 miles on a flat surface is obviously going to be a lot easier than walking 10 miles on, you know, hilly surface. And if it's been raining, then those hilly surfaces are going to be even slower to walk on, especially if, well, because some parts of the walk, especially in the middle, there's like, it's like stone steps going down, and if it's been raining, I know that I would take a, you know, really long time just to be extra careful going up and down them. So yeah, so that's something to consider. Walking along pavement is obviously quicker because it's just one straight road, whereas when you're walking through fields and things, you're opening and closing gates and navigating and looking at your map and how long that's going to take and blah. So for example, if you plan to walk 3 miles an hour, which is the average walking speed, you know, you just allow a bit longer than, for example, 1 hour to walk 3 miles, just because you have to consider stopping for water, looking at your book. Also, depending on which part of the walk you're in, there's things that you want to see on the way. I mean, it kind of depends if you want to see them. If you're just planning to do a walk which is straight ahead and, you know, you want to do it as quickly as you can, then those aren't going to be of interest to you. But I think it's worth seeing some of them because it makes the trip more, you know, more enjoyable. And if you haven't walked the wall before, you know, it's worth considering seeing those things. So one thing you have to consider as well is how long it will take you to walk in terms of daylight hours. So in the summertime, obviously, there's plenty of sunshine in daylight hours. But when we walked, it was in September, and so it started to get dark around 7. I think it was light around 7 as well, so I think we had from 7 to 7, so we had to plan our day according to that time frame. Yeah, some people walk coast to coast, and then if you're going to walk coast to coast, there's an extra 5 miles that you need to add and consider that in your journey. It totally depends on what you want to do and what kind of walk you want to do. In fact, the middle bit is the best bit. I can see why some people, just if they have a weekend, you know, they book a hotel somewhere and they just just walk the beautiful bits and then go to the museums, because there's quite a lot of museums as well around the area. And there's actually a bus. We stayed in twice Brewed Inn, and there's a bus just around the corner from there, and that takes you to the Vindelander, which is fantastic, and I recommend going there. And Woolhouses, which goes there as well. And then there's another place it goes to which I can't remember. I think we didn't go there, so, but anyway, it goes to, you know, various stops. Yeah, it's really, really great, really useful, and you can just, you know, have a day off there, or, you know, go there and then continue walking a bit later in the day, or, you know, it's up to you. It depends what you want to do. And so you have to consider, can I go to the Vindelander and then also do my walk later in the day or something? You know, you have to consider it in terms of daylight hours, because in the countryside it's dark and there's no street lights, so you know, you don't want to be lost in like the countryside in fields with cows or things. Can't imagine. I think that'd be very scary. Or another thing you don't want to do, which is what you would have seen in my video, is walking along the side of a very busy road where cars drive at 70 miles an hour and you're not really lit up at all, and you're walking on the side of the road and you're just praying they don't hit you as they zoom past you. But another thing you have to consider is money. And if you're going to stay in B&Bs and hotels, those can be around 60 to 120 a night, or the ones we stayed in were roughly for the 2 of us. So you have to have money for food. So if you're staying in B&Bs, you can buy your evening meal when you get to your accommodation. And because we had breakfast at the accommodation and then we had the evening meal in the accommodation, it just made things a lot easier. And then during the day we had like trail mix and maybe a tin of beans if there was a shop. One thing we did do actually was we did plan, and we bought lots of snacks in Carlisle and then packed it all into our bag, like energy bars and things like that for the trip, like for lunches and things. And then we knew we had the B&Bs, so we only had to carry a little bit of food, and I think that was really helpful. The other options for accommodation is camping bunkhouses, youth hostels. Those are obviously going to be cheaper, and those are obviously going to be cheaper than hotels or B&Bs. But it depends, you know, if you're going to carry everything on your back, you need to consider like sleeping bags and cooking things and towel and, you know, all of those things. And if that's something you want to do, it can be heavy. It's totally up to you, basically. And how fit you are, and you have to consider as well that you're carrying like at least 2 litres of water with you. So another thing you need to consider in terms of budgeting for this trip is entrance fees and like trains and bus fares. So we drove to Carlisle and then we parked the car there. We stayed there for 2 nights, but we got the bus from Carlisle to Burness and then walked back to Carlisle, and that will obviously cost money. It's not a lot of money, but it's just worth taking into consideration if you want to have a small budget for the trip. Also, when we got to Newcastle, we got a train back to Carlisle. So I'm not going to make a big video on this. I'd like to do a whole video on this, but this is just, you know, a few things I learned. As I said, so we didn't plan our trip. We left it the last second. We were actually booking as we kind of went. We booked the first 3 days in advance. And then when we got to Carlisle, that's when we were thinking, we're going to walk Bowness back to Carlisle. And then, you know, I was going to see how my ankle was feeling, you know, because I really didn't want to be walking in pain, and I wasn't even sure if I was going to be able to finish the walk anyway, so I thought that's the best option, and that's how I planned it. And I think that's quite a good way to do it, because if you don't know what your capacity is, or if you can do it, that's what I would recommend. Yeah, just doing it as you go. If in the summertime, maybe that's not as good an option, because it will get, you know, fully booked, and probably we were quite lucky because it was COVID. I think if it wasn't COVID, we wouldn't have been as lucky and we wouldn't have found accommodation. Yeah, it was lucky, but it worked out for me, so I'm happy about that. But I would say that when you're planning, you plan how far you want to walk each day, and then you have to consider the walk from the where you stopped on the trail to the accommodation. Yeah, sometimes it can be quite far. It depends on how busy it is. If places are fully booked and you have to book a bit further away, then you have to consider that in your walking distance. And so I would look on booking.com, see what's available, blah blah blah, how far away it is off the trail, and then use Google Maps to see the distance from where we stop on the trail to our accommodation. And that's one way to, you know, to plan. In general, I'd say also, my advice is to make the first few days longer days of walking, and then in the middle bit where it's the most beautiful, you make those shorter days, because it's so beautiful there and there's so much to see, you know, you don't want to miss it. Yeah, because also those bits are a bit harder as well, it's more hilly, so it's going to take you longer. If I did it again, that's what I would do. My main concern the whole time I was walking is I don't want to be walking in the dark. I want to be back by 7. That was, as long as I was back by 7, I didn't mind, because that way yeah, we didn't have to stress, we just knew. So one of the most important things you'll need for this trip is a really good guidebook, and this is the one we used, which is so fantastic and I highly recommend it. It gives you suggested itineraries for each type of accommodation, so camping, bunkhouses, hostels, B&Bs, hotels. It gives you all the kind of itineraries that you might be interested in, and including the mileage between each place. And then it gives you general information on how to plan, what to pack, toiletries, just things that you'll need. And my favourite part of the book is these maps, which are drawn, and they give a kind of idea of the layout of the route and information on each place that you'll visit. So when you go to Carlisle, you can read a bit on Carlisle, or information, things that you'll see. And also there's like little bits that tell you things to look out for, and so you don't get lost. And then each place that will tell you, so the services, the transport, where to eat. Very, very useful information, places to stay, so it helps you with your research when you're thinking of, where you want to stay. He's also drawn those places on his maps as well. So even though this route is well signposted by the National Trust, he includes landmarks to help you navigate your way along the route, and also things like taps where you can get water and, on your way. And yeah, it's really, really useful. So this is the book, and I highly recommend it. And the final little bit of advice that I'd like to give you is, if you do choose to stay in B&Bs, you can wash your underwear in the shower or something and then dry it overnight. That way you don't have to carry too much things, and also you're not going to feel, like such a stinky walker. And I think if I did the walk again, I'd probably bring less clothes. So yeah, so those are my tips, and I hope you find them useful, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Actually, in my next video, what I'm thinking of doing is making a bit more of an extensive video, and giving a more detailed example of how I planned, and maybe even writing down everything I did and sharing that with you, and maybe even sharing exactly how I did my trip and where I stayed and how long it took me, and everything exactly detailed. In fact, if that's something you would like to do or you'd be interested in, please like this video and let me know that it's something worth making, and yeah, I'll get cracking on that. It took me a long time to edit this video actually, because we finished this walk in September, but I'm going to post it in January. So yeah. Anyway, so thank you for watching this video, and if you liked it, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, thank you, bye.